My Wi-Fi was named Prettyfly4 until Karen, my nosy neighbor, decided it was her personal playground. Last week, she asked for the password just to check her email and I, the idiot, gave it to her. It started with a flicker. My Netflix froze mid-binge. My smart fridge started beeping like it was possessed. And my router's lights blinked like a Christmas tree on steroids. I thought it was a glitch until I saw Karen's silhouette through her window, hunched over a laptop, her face lit by a screen flashing code I couldn't decipher. She wasn't checking email. She was hacking my network, and I was about to learn how deep her obsession ran. Karen, 48, with her bleach blonde bob and an HOA rulebook always tucked under her arm, wasn't your typical cyber criminal. She was the queen of petty vendetta, supporting my unmowed lawn, snitching on my dog's off-leash runs, and once leaving a passive-aggressive note about my tasteless Christmas lights. But this was next level. I stormed over, banging on her door, ready to unleash hell. "Karen, what the hell are you doing to my Wi-Fi?" I shouted. She cracked the door, smirking, her eyes glinting with something unhinged. "Just borrowing a little bandwidth, Jake, no harm done." No harm. By morning, my internet was a wasteland. My work VPN crashed, costing me a client meeting. My smart home system locked me out, leaving my thermostat at a balmy 85F. Worse, my router's logs showed Ekran had used my network to ping a server that screamed government. With its cryptic IP address, I'm no tech genius, but I knew enough to panic. She wasn't just stealing Wi-Fi, she was probing something big, something federal. I changed the password, locked her out, and thought that was the end. I was wrong. 2 days later, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Nice try, Jake. You can't stop me." Attached was a screenshot of my router's admin Penelmi new password, mocked in bold. Karen had cracked it again. My blood ran cold. This wasn't about bandwidth anymore. She was taunting me, flexing her power. I checked the logs again, and my heart stopped. Her device had breached a Department of Defense server. Alerts flagged unauthorized access and data exfiltration. Karen, the HOA tyrant, was now a federal threat, and my Wi-Fi was her gateway. I called my buddy Max, a cybersecurity guy who owes me a favor. "Dude, she's not just hacking Yusha's hit a DOD server. That's FBI territory," he said, voice shaking. "You need to report this, or you're screwed too." I hesitated. Snitching on Karen felt like betraying the neighborhood code, but she dragged me into her chaos. I filed an anonymous tip with the FBI, detailing the logs and her texts. Then I waited, guilt gnawing at me. Had I just ruined her life over Wi-Fi? The climax hit at 2 a.m. Wednesday. Sirens wailed, red and blue lights flooded the street. I peeked through my blinds as FBI vans screeched into Karen's driveway. Agents in tactical gear stormed her porch, barking orders. Karen stumbled out, still in her nightgown, laptop clutched like a shield. "This is a mistake," she screamed, but her voice cracked with fear. They pried the laptop from her hands, revealing a screen littered with code and classified file names. Her backyard was a crime scene. A shattered router, its circuits fried from her brute force attacks, lay in the grass, surrounded by cables she'd ripped apart in her frenzy. A wooden signpost, stabbed into the dirt, bore her scrawled handwriting, "Karen's Wi-Fi War, Chaos Unleashed." It was her manifesto, her unhinged brag. I watched, heart pounding, as they cuffed her. She locked eyes with me across the street, her face a mix of rage and betrayal. "You did this, Jake," she shrieked, as if I'd forced her to hack a federal server. The agents found more. USB drives stuffed with stolen data, a burner phone, and a notebook detailing her plan to teach the neighborhood a lesson. Karen hadn't just hacked my Wi-Fi, she'd used it to launch a cyber attack, driven by some twisted grudge against authority. My network was collateral damage in her war against the world. But I wasn't innocent. The FBI traced the breach to my router, and suddenly, I was a person of interest. They grilled me for hours. Why didn't I secure my network? Why didn't I report her sooner? My anonymity crumbled when they found my tip in their system. Max bailed me out with a lawyer, but the damage was done. My reputation tanked. Neighbors whispered I'd ratted out Karen. The HOA shunned me, and my boss questioned my judgment. I'd stopped a cyber crime, but lost my peace. Karen's counterattack came from jail. She leaked my personal infobank details, emails, even my dating profile claiming I'd framed her. The neighborhood turned on me. My mailbox overflowed with hate mail, my car got keyed, and someone spray-painted snitch on my garage. I fought back, posting the truth on X, sharing screenshots of her texts, and the FBI's findings. Slowly, the tide turned. Neighbors saw her for what she was, a petty tyrant who'd endangered us all. But the victory felt hollow. My life was a mess, and Karen's vendetta had left scars deeper than I'd expected. The end came quietly, bitterly. Karen's trial was swift. She pleaded guilty to cybercrimes. Facing years in prison, the FBI cleared me, but my network, my trust, my sense of home were wrecked. I moved across town, changed my Wi-Fi to Karen-proof, and swore never to share my password again. At night, I still see her face, that smirk as she cracked my world open. She'd wanted power, control, a way to burn the system down. She got her chaos, but at what cost? My router's lights blink steadily now. But every flicker reminds me, some battles leave no winners, only ghosts of bad choices. Months after Karen's arrest, the neighborhood still buzzed with whispers. I'd moved, but her shadow lingered. My new place was quieter, but every creak made me check my router. Paranoid she'd somehow claw her way back. The FBI had seized her devices, but her leaked data dump haunted me. Email still got spam from shady corners of the internet, and my credit score took a hit from identity theft attempts. Karen's revenge wasn't just personal, it was a digital landmine, detonating long after she was gone. I dug into her past, desperate to understand. Karen wasn't a mastermind hacker. She'd been a bored paralegal with a grudge, self-taught from YouTube tutorials and dark web forums. Her whole obsession was a front. She'd felt powerless, ignored, and saw hacking as her rebellion. My Wi-Fi was just the easiest target, a way to flex her newfound skills before aiming higher. The Dodd server, a reckless thrill, not a master plan. She'd bragged about it in encrypted chats, calling it her big score. But she'd underestimated the feds and me. Rebuilding wasn't easy. I hired a cybersecurity firm to lock down my network. Costing me a chunk of savings. Max helped me scrub my data from the dark web. But it was like chasing ghosts. The neighborhood's hate faded as Karen's trial exposed her stolen data from half the block. Not just me. Still, I felt no joy. Her life was ruined, and mine was fractured. I'd stopped her, but at what cost? My trust in neighbors, in tech, in myself was shot. One night, scrolling X, I saw a post from Karen's sister. It was a plea for sympathy, painting her as a misunderstood loner. Comments tore it apart, citing the havoc she'd caused. I felt a pang of pity. She'd been desperate for control, not evil. But pity didn't erase the damage. I posted my own thread, raw and honest, about the ordeal, the fear, the betrayal, the cost of doing right. It went viral, sparking debates about privacy, vengeance, and the line between justice and snitching. Strangers messaged me, sharing their own stories of neighbors from hell. It didn't fix my life, but it felt like a release. By spring, I'd found a fragile peace. My new Wi-Fi hummed, my fridge stopped beeping, and the hate mail stopped. Karen's sentence was 7 years. Her Wi-Fi wore a cautionary tale on X. I'd won, but the victory was bitter. Her signpost, Karen's Wi-Fi war, Chaos Unleashed, was auctioned off by a neighbor for charity, a twisted relic of her downfall. I didn't bid. I wanted to forget. But forgetting is hard when every ping of my router feels like a warning. Protect your digital life, secure your Wi-Fi, guard your trust, and don't let a Karen turn your world into her battlefield.